So the PTS for Title Update 22 is currently live, and there is a lot of changes that's coming for Title Update 22. And one that's been talked about a lot is the fact that the Striker got nerfed, the ELMOS engine assault rifle, it's got nerfed, and also there is a couple other stuff that got nerfed like gear sets and brand sets. But for this video I want to do a comparison between what we currently have in the Title Update 21, which is live right now, and the PTS for Title Update 22, and see the comparison, how much those nerfs will affect your build. So if you should be worried about it or not, how is that gonna affect you? So if that's interesting to you, a like on this video would be super appreciated. Subscribe for more Division 2 content, and yeah, let's get into this. Now, this is going to be a lot of mathematic stuff, but I'm going to keep it simple. So I'm going to show you guys the numbers, and I'm going to show you guys the spreadsheet. So let's start off right now. I'm on the actual live game, so the Title Update 21, and I have this build right here. This is one of my DPS, straight all DPS Striker build that I actually have a build in the channel for this. If I'll leave a link down in the description for this specific build. And yeah, this build helped me a lot with the incursion because it has the most damage that I had for my Striker builds. So I have the ELMOS engine with 70 rounds in a magazine, with also that amazing mods that it has: 20% crit damage, 20% crit chance, the 20% handling. All of that makes the ELMOS engine so great of a weapon. And the Striker, we know that the Striker obviously gives you damage per stacks, but one thing that's going to be changing, at least on the PTS, if it does go live though, for Title Update 22, on the PTS says that the back itself will change. Instead of increasing total weapon damage gained per stacks from 0.65% to 1%, on the PTS is saying from 0.65% to 0.85%. So that's a slight nerf. So instead of, let's say you have the chest piece and the backpack right here, it should be 200% weapon damage once you have full stacks, 200 stacks. On the PTS, if you have 200 stacks with the backpack and the chest piece, it will be 170% instead of 200% weapon damage to your build. That's what we're going to be comparing. Now, if you take a quick look at the stats, just remember this. I'm going to show you guys how different this is going to be. So currently with this build, I have on the ELMOS engine 42% crit chance. That's because on this build I had 42% because I'm going to be using Coyote Mask, right? And the Coyote Mask, usually I'm aiming for that mid bonus, which is like 10% crit chance and 10% crit damage. That way it would put me at 52% crit chance, which is good. That's why I have so low crit chance on this build, because of the Coyote Mask, right? So that's explained that. So yeah, I have 42% crit chance in there and 188% critical hit damage with this build, with Striker and ELMOS engine working together. So that's it. Let's check the numbers and I'll show you guys. So just you guys can believe me, right? I'm gonna show you how much full stack, how much I'm getting with the ELMOS engine, and then I'll show you guys my spreadsheet. So add full stacks with the ELMOS engine on this build. On the armor, I'm hitting for max stacks, right? With 200 stacks, 1,155,000 with the body shot on armor, right? That's for the ELMOS engine. Let's see on the head. So with the ELMOS engine, again, max stacks on the head on armor, we can see that I will be hitting for 1,437,000 damage per bullet on the head. And keep in mind, that's with the proc of the Coyote Mask, with that first proc, which is like a 25%. Let me show you guys. The first proc between 0 to 15 meters is a 25% critical hit damage. So instead of 180, that's gonna go up to 113% critical hit damage. I mean 213% critical hit damage. So if we go on my spreadsheet that I have where I calculate the damage, this is the spreadsheet. Now, before I show you guys actual numbers, you guys can see it's not showing the numbers that I just showed you, but that's because the coyote mask in here, I don't have it procced, right? So let's say the coyote mask, the first bonus activates, which is instead of 188, it goes to 213% crit damage. Now I have the damage that I was just showing you guys in there. You guys can confirm. On the body crits, on the armor out of cover, 1,159,000, and then on the head, 1,437,000 on the head crits on armor out of cover. So the DPS in here, this is DPS, headshot DPS, body DPS. If I take the crit, if you want to have a DPS just for you know, without crits, this is the regular DPS that a lot of people show on their videos. This is the body DPS, this is the headshot DPS. Okay, so now we are in the PTS live right now, the PTS for Title Update 22. You guys can see right there on top right of my screen, PTS. So that's for Title 22. And let's take a look at the build, right? So this is the exact same build. You know, 4 strikers with the chest piece and the backpack, the coyote mask, and also the ELMOS engine. So we're gonna take a look and see the difference, what's been affected. Starting off with the ELMOS engine, the base damage of it though, it's not on the patch notes. I haven't seen it, but it went up because the Police M4 got a damage buff, and the ELMOS engine being a Police M4 and M4, it went up also. So that's that, but the max size now is only 60 rounds on the magazine, so it got removed 10 rounds on the magazine, and the mods on it got a slight nerf. Basically, 5% less on the crit damage and 5% less on the crit chance, and a 10% less on the weapon handling. The striker, the chest piece is still the same from 100 stacks to 200 stacks, but the backpack though, it should change. Now, I'm saying it should because currently on the PTS, I'll show you guys a preview right now. Currently on the PTS, it's not changed. It's still a 1%. What the change is supposed to be is increasing total weapon damage gained per stacks of Striker Gamble from 0.65 to 0.85 instead of 1%. Again, it's not correctly currently on the PTS, but I'll show you with my math what it's supposed to be. Another thing that changed, the Grupo Sombra, instead of 15%, it's 13%. That's another nerf that I don't understand why we got that. So with all that said, if I take a look at my stats for this ELMOS engine on the Striker, my crit chance went down from 42% to 37%, which means I'm gonna have to adjust that crit chance and lose more crit damage to adjust to get close to that 42%. That way we have more of a fair comparison, because I always say crit chance, if you want to compare two builds, that crit chance is the first thing that you have to be close to the same. Crit damage could be the difference. The crit damage went down also because we lost some crit damage on the ELMOS engine, so we lost 5, well, totally on the build we lost 7% crit damage, but on the ELMOS was 5, and then on the Grupo Sombra was 2. Now again, to test this out as a fair advantage, we have to change this crit chance. So I'm gonna go right here and change one of these mods. Instead of crit damage, I'm gonna put 6% crit chance. That's the most I can do. So I'll put this one right here and take a look at the chance. Now we have 43% crit chance, so that's closer to 42%. That's how I say when you're testing two builds, the crit chance has to be about the same. Now let's test this out. Let's get max stacks. I was getting my stacks up before show you guys, but let me get it up again, and now we'll talk about the damage. So now we have my full stacks. You can see on the body shots, armor, and out of cover crits, I will crit for 1,156,000. So that's very close to what we were hitting in body shots. Keeping in mind that right now on the PTS I have less crit damage on this build. I have the Coyote Mask procced, and that's still gonna be less crit damage that compared to the live game. That's because of the ELMOS engine buff that we got on the weapon itself. It got a buff to the base weapon. But also one thing to keep in mind, this is with the Striker not being changed. Even though it's saying it's changing right here on the backpack, it's not. So I'm going to show you the correct number if it is actually changed when it comes to the live game. So taking a look at my spreadsheet for this calculation, you can see all of the stats right here on the left side. We have that 42% crit chance and 169% crit damage. Now, that's before the Coyote Mask procs. So if it procs, I'm going to get that 25% crit damage on top of this. So that's going to be 194, which we're going to have to add in there. So I click enter, and this is the number that we were getting, right? We got like 1,156,000 body crits out of cover and armor. And then on the head, we got 1,451,000 headshot crits and out of cover on armor. So that's it. And that's the thing. Those numbers, as you can see, I have right here, Striker, 4-piece, chest and backpack, 200% stacks. So 200% weapon damage. So again, that did not change. Even though on the PTS the backpack says it changed, it did not change. Right here, this weapon damage is supposed to be 170% weapon damage from Striker from now on if the changes for the backpack goes through. So if the number is corrected and we have 170% weapon damage from the Striker at 200 stacks, this is what the DPS is gonna look like compared to the one that I just showed you. This is the body DPS, the headshot DPS. So the body crits are a slight bit lower. It's not a big deal. And again, I'll show you guys if I take out all of these crits chance. This is gonna be the DPS. So obviously it's a nerf, but it's not like that huge of a nerf because things balance out once this ELMOS engine buff got in consideration, right? So that's for the ELMOS engine Striker type of builds. Obviously there's other weapons that got other buffs that, you know, it might be different when you do the comparison between those two builds. But the Striker overall, it's nerfed, but it's not huge. It's just closer to what the other gear sets do. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of this. Is this a bad nerf? Is this a decent nerf? Should they not change the Striker at all? Let me know all of that in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this video, a like on it would be super appreciated. Subscribe for more, and I'll have more videos for you guys soon. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody.